The fundamental issue of privacy in the age of artificial intelligence, it's not merely a technical problem, but a profound ethical and, dare I say, philosophical one. The fear of being surveilled, having our innermost data exploited without consent, taps into an innate human discomfort, the relinquishing of control.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not like these fears are coming out of nowhere. There are actual stats to back it up. Like, did you know that 70% of Americans who've even heard of AI straight up don't trust companies to handle their data responsibly?
That lack of trust, Nova, is deeply warranted. High-profile breaches, Equifax in 2017, the Cambridge Analytica scandal. These aren't just data points. They're modern-day cautionary tales, warning us against blind faith in the guardians of our digital lives.
Exactly. And what makes it worse is how some of these systems feel like black magic to most of us. You download an app, or you log into a service, and boom, your data's in the cloud, being harvested who knows where.
It echoes ancient myths, doesn't it? Prometheus granting fire to humanity, only for it to bring devastation alongside illumination. Similarly, AI promises progress, but, unchecked, risks compromising the very autonomy it was meant to enhance.
Well, maybe that's why calls for regulation are getting louder. Like the EU's AI Act, requiring stricter oversight before rolling out these systems. It's kind of giving big tech can't just do whatever it wants vibes, if you ask me.
Indeed. The Act exemplifies society's attempt to reassert control, to counterbalance corporate interests with human dignity. Yet, even so, the complexity of AI itself makes this a Sisyphean task. If no one understands how these systems process information, how can any law safeguard privacy effectively?
That's where some tech companies are stepping in, though, right? Like federated learning or differential privacy, those tools where data doesn't even leave your device. It's a step, but honestly, I feel like most people don't even know those exist.
Perhaps the heart of the problem is transparency, or the lack thereof. When systems obscure their actions, it erodes not just trust but the sense of agency. Privacy, Nova, isn't merely a right. It's often the scaffolding for autonomy itself.
Totally. But it shouldn't take legislation to make these companies do the right thing. Like, imagine if transparency was just good business sense. People might actually trust these tools more if they weren't so sketchy about collecting data.
And if the public trusts the tools, they may begin to trust the creators behind them. Yet, as it stands, a society divided between those who control data and those who are controlled by it risks repeating the oldest saga of humanity, the struggle for power over others.
Right, and that struggle for power you mentioned? It only gets worse when AI systems are so hard to understand. Like, people call them black boxes for a reason. Decisions go in and out, but how they're made? Total mystery.
Indeed, Nova. It conjures an imposing image, doesn't it? A monolith of knowledge rendered inscrutable, its workings accessible only to a select few. But transparency, or the lack thereof, not only alienates users, it fundamentally undermines the trust essential for societal integration.
Right, like if an AI denies me a loan or something, I want to know why. Was it my credit history? My spending patterns? It's infuriating when there's no explanation at all. Just a flat rejection.
And that absence of reasoning doesn't merely frustrate. It plants seeds of suspicion, feeding the idea that these systems operate with bias or, worse, outright unfairness. This, in turn, distances humanity from the very technologies designed to serve it.
Okay, but let's not forget there are researchers and companies out there actually trying to fix this. Like model cards, they're kind of like a cheat sheet for AI, breaking down what it does, how it was trained, and even its limitations. I think OpenAI even did this for GPT-4, right?
Precisely. These efforts to demystify AI align with ancient traditions of understanding. Transparency has always held ethical value, whether in governance, philosophy, or science. Bringing that ethos to artificial intelligence is, I think, a necessary evolution.
That's true, but let's be real. Just slapping a model card on an AI system isn't enough. People need to trust what's written on them. And that means companies actually have to walk the walk, not just talk the transparency talk.
It's reminiscent of the myth of Icarus. High aspirations tempered poorly by restraint lead to disaster. For society to embrace AI without hesitation, the industry must not only disclose its methods but also prove their integrity.
And it's not all doom and gloom here, right? There's some real-world progress happening, like take autonomous vehicles. Those things are tested in simulations for millions of miles, and they still go through safety inspections before hitting the roads. That's transparency in action, making people feel at least a little safer.
A promising illustration, but even there lies a burden of ethical responsibility. Each choice embedded in those systems reflects human decision-making priorities. Who is safeguarded in an emergency? whose needs assume precedence. Such dilemmas call for not just clarity, but broader societal dialogue on moral alignment.
Exactly. And that's why I feel like we've got to throw more public engagement into the mix. Panels, workshops, even social media campaigns help everyday people understand AI instead of seeing it as some mysterious overlord, you know? It might demystify the black box a little.
That emphasis on public engagement you mentioned, Nova, it's absolutely crucial. Engaging society isn't just about building trust. It's about grappling with the bigger questions AI raises. For example, what does it truly mean to be human in an era where our judgment, our creativity, and even our sense of self might be mirrored or altered by these tools, these extensions of ourselves?
I don't think it's about erosion, Arik. I think it's about evolution. Like, sure, AI can write stories or analyze data faster than we ever could, but it's still our creativity that's driving it. It's a partnership more than a rivalry.
A partnership, yes. And yet, history reminds us of moments when technology expanded boundaries but also displaced traditions. The Industrial Revolution redefined labor, yet it left scars, imbalance, unrest. Are we repeating in this digital shift the same story with new threads?
But don't forget, it wasn't all bad. Machines took over the exhausting, repetitive stuff, and eventually, new jobs popped up. The same thing's happening with AI. Like, we've got data scientists, AI trainers. Heck, there's even demand for prompt engineers now. Who'd have thought?
It is a fascinating twist. From artisans becoming factory workers, to now engineers teaching machines the intricacies of human thought. Each shift reveals a recalibration of what humanity values. Perhaps this partnership you mentioned depends not just on what machines can do, but on what we empower ourselves to become within their presence.
Totally. And the cool thing is, people aren't just sitting back and letting the change happen to them. There are reskilling programs everywhere now. Like, I remember this initiative in Europe where they taught factory workers how to maintain and work with robots instead of fearing them. That's huge.
Indeed, proactive adaptation seems to offer a path forward. Yet I wonder, are tools for the many or privileges for the few? If society fails to ensure equitable access to these skills and opportunities, will we not deepen the chasm between those who innovate and those displaced?
That's where policy comes in, though, right? Governments funding these transitions, updating schools to focus on AI literacy, stuff like that. Honestly, it feels like now is the time to make those investments count.
An imperative, indeed. To shape the future, society must step boldly into the dialogue you envision. If humanity's essence is to be augmented rather than diminished by these creations, we must align progress with purpose, balancing utility with dignity, efficiency with equity.
And you know, it's not just about jobs. AI can enhance what we're already great at. Like, I've used AI in storytelling, bouncing ideas, trying angles I'd never even think of. It doesn't replace creativity, it supercharges it.
Your anecdote captures the promise of symbiosis quite beautifully, Nova. Like mythic muses whispering to poets, these technologies can inspire new dimensions of human accomplishment, when wielded with care and intention.
Exactly. We're not losing what makes us human. We're discovering more of it. And that's a future I think we can all get behind.
Let us hope so. For in the uncertainty of what lies ahead, it is our imagination, our resolve, that will sculpt the contours of destiny itself.
And on that note, we'll wrap it here. Thanks for joining us on this journey through trust, transparency, and the world of AI. The future may be uncertain, but it's one we get to shape. Until next time, remember, exploration starts with curiosity.
Indeed. Farewell, dear explorers. May you navigate the unknown with wisdom and wonder.